Yo, what's up, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, doing another album review. And today we're checking out the mega death metal stars Suffocation with their album Hymns from the Apocrypha. Apocrypha. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Sorry. But yeah, a little background on this band is Suffocation is a well-known death metal band from like the early 90s and everything. They're one of the innovators of like brutal and technical death metal. When people are like talking about like extreme styles of metal, this is one of the bands that everyone like kind of goes back to and references in terms of make like them pushing more I won't say progressive, but making death metal more intricate and technical in terms of like playing and just brutality and everything. So they're a major influence on a lot of people. My personal relationship with them is I never listened to them because growing up, I always thought like super death metal stuff was kind of like, I don't know, I guess lame or not cool. I don't know. I never really got into it for some reason. But I love that I'm me getting older. I want to expand more of my music taste. And I've heard nothing but like great things about Suffocation as I've gotten older. So I was like, I gotta really check this band out. So they dropped a new album last year in 2023. I started doing album reviews. That's how we intersected, and that's how I'm checking this band out. So let's get into this review. We're jumping right into some really ripping death metal on the opening track here. Guitars sound really heavy and tight. Drums are super heavy and doing their job of keeping the flow and pacing very well. Vocals super deep, super harsh. Everything you want in a death metal song so far early in this track. There's some nice drum rolls that really follow up the tight guitar solos. So it makes it a nice, interesting like dynamic. And I was really impressed that these guys sound so good for being so far in their career. Like they still had some fire in their engine and were just still like sounding really good off the jump. The song is really long, but surprisingly not too exhausting. It's a genuinely interesting, like heavy and good flow. Like they have great pacing here, which sometimes I think death metal bands can overdo it a little bit, but sounds really good here. And the bass really comes in towards the end of the song. So overall, great opening track, I think.
Even when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures
Tighter riffs and more blast beats than the previous song and everything. They switch up their styles about the 1 minute mark and go like even more intense. And I think what makes them sound so good so far, at least I've noticed, is the production. They sound so clean but so heavy. It's very impressive. But I'm thinking about it now. They're so far in their career, they've kind of got it dialed in and know what kind of production they should need and what for their style of music. Drums are being played really well on this track. Lots of use of like the tom heads and the cymbals and everything, not just sticking to like the snare and like the hi-hats. They're really using their kit well, I think. The subject matter is very death metal in terms of like religious talk, but the lyrics are kind of like clever in a weird way, like clever and fresh. They're not too typical in like the words they're using here. The ending riff with the drum breakdown is really good. And the whole time I was listening to the song, I kept having stank face, like, damn, this is really good. Oh, like, this is so disgustingly good. So I want to play a clip of Perpetual Deception for you. Like it just sounds so good for like death metal. Like this is good sounding death metal. We have a slow death growl on top of some awkward blast beats. The blast beats seem a little bit awkward, but I would say the drums as they play along in the song, they get some better groove. Just they were a little bit weird at the beginning, I think. The growls though sound like epic as fuck. He knows what he's doing. He's practiced. It shows. It's really good. There's an epic guitar solo in the middle of the song that's pretty dirty and everything. Sounds really good. Love the drum pattern in the second half of the song. It sounds much better than the first half, with the bass doing some weird playing in the background. Adds a lot of flavor to it. And that last growl he uses in the end at the end of the song where he says like no one, pretty fucking good. Intro to this song is heavy as fuck. I was not expecting. It's super brutal, super thick and chuggy in terms of like the guitars and the menacing drums. Very, very surprising here. The guitars are really heavy and have some like they're really fun to listen to on this particular track. They just sound really, really good. And then there's some nice double kicks that go off on this song. The drummer's really killing it. The guitarists are doing a really good job here. And I think also what helps there is the production again. The production sounds really, really good. And I think that's what's making all this death metal sound so like clean and good. It's just whoever is behind making the mixes and everything, they're doing a great job. And the ending of this song is very heavy and nasty. Here they're doing like a fast like stop and go playing here, and it sounds pretty dope. And usually I don't like that, but they're doing it pretty well here. And as the song progresses, I thought, man, this song is just really just okay in terms of creativity, and it sounds like a typical death metal song. But the production raises that bar where everything sounds so good. I can hear all the instruments and everything. So it takes just an okay song. Production can take an okay song and just make it sound so much better. It makes everything sound really balanced. So I really like that. This is a very 90s inspired death metal, like guitar solo, but it kind of makes sense since these guys have been around since the 90s and everything. They are the 90s death metal, but still churning out good hits and everything. Yeah, and while the guitar is doing that solo and everything, there's like an underlying mesmerizing feel to this song, especially with the guitars. So I really like that. And towards the end, it kind of like slowly and like in a heavy way fades out, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna play a clip of Seraphim Enslavement for you. They pulled it back a little bit, went a bit slower, but still sounding pretty heavy. The drums are adding a lot of variety here with the use of the hi-hats and the little like taps on them and everything. Makes the song more compelling and fun to listen to. Straight on like onslaught of death metal with this song. It's fast, it sounds good. And there's a bass solo in the middle of the song that kind of reminds me of Cannibal Corpse's song Hammer Smash Face. The placement of this bass solo was really good because right before that I was thinking, man, this song's getting a little stale and everything, but it helped spice things up a bit, which was nice. The guitars have some kind of like crazy trance over me while listening to this song. Like the moment I want to dislike something, they like the guitars have kind of some kind of weird magic power, and it just pulls me back in. And I'm like, oh, this is good. This is a good song. This is good death metal. Each song on this album has definitely been very unique, and I think that's really impressive and hard to do in like the death metal genre, since a lot of things can get like very similar to each other. So they're doing a good job of keeping things fresh, which is nice. The guitars are sounding really epic and tight here. The vocals have been very consistent, especially on this particular track. He's doing really good. The guitar solo though, it seems a little bit sloppy and just not very good overall. But then like right after they played when the solo is done and everything, they let it kind of ring out a bit and everything. That kind of sounds dope. The vocalist on this track can really hold a note, I noticed, and that's very, very impressive. Lyrics though on the other side is kind of like not the best here. They're kind of So I feel like this is a very mixed song in terms of like things I like and things I don't like. Vocals are really dope here. The riffs are really chuggy. Snare sounds really good on this track. Definitely, you can tell that they're one of the pioneers of 90s hardcore. Vocals are dope here. Riffs are hella chuggy. Snare drum sounds really, really good on this track. Definitely, like they are one of the pioneers of 90s death metal. You can really feel it, especially in the guitar solo. You can get that old 90s energy. And I fucking love it. Sounds great. Drums sound wicked heavy at the end of the song with the blast beats and everything. And the end of this song has some like really good slick and groovy ass feel to it and everything. So I want to play a clip of Delusions of Mortality. I'm loving that I'm loving Suffocation these days. The first thing I noticed here were the vocals. They seem really low in the mix than compared to the other tracks. So I thought that was a little weird. The drums sound really good, especially with the nice touches of tapping on the hi-hats. Again, adds more flavor to the song. Drums are super punchy. Like they're really popping on this song and everything. And we got some like funky bass playing that's really good. Um, Even though the vocals are really low in the mix, I feel like like screaming and yelling with some actual pain. Like he's putting a lot in for this track and everything. I can feel that. The guitar riffs at the end are really nice and have a nice sharpness to them. So I think it's an okay song to end the album on. So that's my review for this newest Suffocation album. And the best way I can describe it is just fucking solid, man. Like for a band being so old and still pushing out like 30 plus years into their career and still sounding this solid for their genre and everything, impressive. Like the guitars are super, super sharp and like got some really killer riffs to it. And then the drumming, tight, 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 tight. Blast beats out the ass and just sound really, really good, really sharp, really snappy. The bass is being played like thoroughly and has a lot of time to like get its moment, but also be in the background and suddenly add a lot of weight to the songs and everything. And it sounds really good. The vocals, like I found out that the vocalist changed out over the years, so I think they have a younger vocalist and everything. But his growls and everything, his intensity, it is like non-stop. Like he's got great death metal vocals, growls, screams. It just sounds really good and matches perfect with this band and everything. And like the band itself is really good, very creative. All the songs are uniquely played, and I think they all have their own flavor to it. All like the, every no song sounds too similar, I think. But I think what really sets this album and this band apart from other bands and stuff is the production here. I was so blown away by the production because everything sounds so clean, well balanced, mixed in really well. Like it's a sonically pleasing album. Like the band itself, the creativity is great, but then like the production's on a whole nother level here. Besides like one instance of like I think the vocal sounding unmixed and everything sounded great. It was a great album to listen to. And I think another thing that might have been like a drawback for me was the lyrics. The lyrics at times seemed a little bit like too death metal, too corny a bit, but that's beside the point. The production, freaking great, really awesome. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for so long, so I think they know how to tap into their sound, get the right production, and just can make great music. So for my first ever Suffocation album listen to, uh, I'm I'm a big fan. I think after listening to this, I gotta go check out their older albums and see the contrast and difference with their early stuff and their stuff now. See which ones I like more. But yeah, my I guess score for this album would be a good, solid 8 out of 10. Yeah. So links down below. Tell me what you thought. Thanks for coming on by. I'm Matt from Diazable. I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. It really helps. I know YouTubers say that all the time, but it really does. Till next time. Bye.